Hello, this is Jason from Body121Fitness. This is a video relating to a corresponding written article on the Body121Fitness website called "Why Should I Use a Good Personal Trainer?" I record these videos because some people would rather watch a video than read an article, but I would say that the articles tend to be written slightly more concisely, just the nature of recording a video. It seems to take slightly longer. As I said before, many aspects of fitness are interconnected, so it's easy to just sort of stray off point slightly. But I'll do my best to make it as short and accurate as possible. So basically, why should I use a good personal trainer? What I would say before I start is that I'm not saying this because I happen to be a personal trainer and Body121Fitness offers a range of personal training services. I'm saying this, giving this advice hand on heart, because it makes absolute sense. You know, you'd be silly not to. If in any way you can finance the employment of a personal trainer, then you absolutely should do that. And hopefully some of the you know, when I give you the reasons why, then you'll see the sense in it. And as I say, this isn't a sales pitch for Body121 services. I don't mind if you know, whether you use our services or not. But you know, what I do mind is if you can afford it, I want you to use a personal trainer, any personal trainer, as long as they're decent. Just because it makes so much sense and you'll get so much more out of it. So the thing to bear in mind is that everybody, without exception, would actually benefit from using a personal trainer, even personal trainers, because no matter how, even if you know your stuff, you know, we're all human, and when things start getting tough, start cutting corners. You know, there's so many ways to cut corners that it's ridiculous. And having a trainer there, who's someone who's actually managing exactly what you do and making sure that you're doing exactly the right thing and you're executing it with perfect technique, range of movement, if it's resistance exercise, speed of exercise. You know, making sure that your execution is perfect consistently, is something that you're not going to manage effectively on your own. And obviously there are different reasons that many different reasons, you know, or benefits from using a trainer, and they are individual. You know, those reasons are specific to different individuals, but again, if you've got someone who believes in you and who's motivating you, you know, it's very incentivizing or motivating, and you again, you'll do better than you will if you're on your own. I mean, even if you're you know, I mean, I have no problem training on my own in terms of discipline, work ethic. But I know that if I work with a trainer, that I will be even better. So everyone without fail will benefit from working with a personal trainer in some way, but in all likelihood, quite a few ways, and significantly. So one of the important things about using a trainer is, if you are adopting exercise for the first time, that in its own right can be you know, quite a big step. You know, you've decided to actually take control of your health and fitness, and if you're new to it, then that's quite a delicate stage to be in. And what unfortunately what is the case is that you'll find that 60% of people who are new to exercise will quit within 3 months, and that's typically because they just don't get the results that they felt they should have done for the effort and time that they'd employed. It sort of makes sense, you know, if you're trying this new thing, which is slightly unusual, it's costing you in terms of energy, effort, and time, all precious resources, and you don't seem to be, maybe you got something initially, but then you're not seem to be getting anywhere beyond that. Maybe you got nothing initially, and you know, you've got no return for your expenditure. So why would you continue? You know. So the thing that's really important, particularly if you're new to exercise, is to make sure that you get the results, because that's the motivating thing about fitness. One of the major motivators is actually getting the results. It's setting the goals, struggling to achieve those, and successfully managing that. That's one of the massively you know, empowering, confidence-inspiring aspects of you know, taking control of your health and fitness. So, and that's particularly important when you know, if you've been training all your life, things don't always go to plan. You know, you do need to review yourself constantly, and that's another thing that a trainer will do that you typically won't. You know, a trainer will, because he'll be measuring your progress, will be acutely aware of whether, you know, the training stimulus that you're working with is effective for you. And if it's not, then he'll change it, or she will change it. If you've been training for a long time, you know, in your life, a bit of failure, not a big deal, you know, and hopefully, you know, hopefully you will use a trainer to sort of overcome that, or you'll do your own research and manage to. But when you're new, it is imperative that you have some success, because that's, you know, that's a major part of what taking control of health and fitness is about. There are other general benefits which you'll get, you know, such as much better energy, better stamina, you know, you'll sleep better, more mentally alert, more energy to, as I said, more energy to sort of live your life. And they're just like generic effects, which are wonderful. And then obviously you'll be doing all those wonderful things for yourself in terms of lowering your chances of, you know, developing some horrible disease, and obviously extending your life. But also you'll find your daily activities become easier, because you'll be fitter. I mean, it really is get fitter, live better. That's it in a nutshell. So you get those anyway, but obviously, you know, if one of your goals is to lose weight, or one of your goals is to develop your physique or tone up, you know, you really want to do that, because it is a lot of effort, and it's a massive, you know, motivator to actually achieve those goals and then set new ones. And the only way you're going to do that is by exercising effectively, the correct training stimulus, periodization, selecting the correct exercises, and equally and mostly, if you like, almost importantly, is making sure that you execute properly. And as I say, that is the job of a personal trainer, to make sure that that's always the case. So that's the sort of general, you know, reasons behind employing a trainer. But to give you specific reasons, one of the reasons to use a personal trainer is when you use a personal trainer, you're basically getting a guaranteed, time efficient, safe progression towards your goals. Personal trainers are happy to guarantee their results as long as you train, you know, regularly enough with them, and you do your side of the, you know, you turn up and you put the effort in, which no doubt you will. Most personal trainers are happy to guarantee their results. It's time efficient because the exercise prescription will be, you know, aimed at specifically what your goals are, and that it will be done in a professional way, which will lead to the fastest progressions and safely. So it's a safe, time efficient, guaranteed progression. So, you know, you made a choice, you want to achieve some goal, you can talk that through with your personal trainer. They can help you, you know, via a process of consultation, take a good look at your life in detail, anything that's going to affect your health and fitness and the, you know, your ability to meet your goals. And it's not often that you get to sit down with someone and take a good look at yourself. And you know, you half the time you don't know the questions to ask. But when you've got a professional there who basically does know, then all of a sudden he or she is asking you questions which forces you to think about things. And you know, it's quite a unique experience for a lot of people. It's very, very valuable. You know, the personal trainer is one of the roles of the personal trainer is to obviously get you to your goals safely and as in a time efficient manner as possible. And within that, they would need to look at your life in as much detail as sensitively possible, and basically give you the advice to, you know, live as healthily as possible, and also in a way which is going to complement your efforts to reach your goals. And it's like having a, you know, it's like having your own personal it's difficult to sort of put it into words, but someone who's got your interest at heart, and is objective. You'll always be the view of what you're doing is always swayed by other responsibilities and, you know, things and other things, whereas a personal trainer will basically be a lot more objective about where you're at. And that's you know, that's a great thing to do, because you get a very sort of truthful picture of where you're starting from, and that's important because it's only by you know, understanding the reality of where the trainer understanding the reality of where you're at and you, that you can then you know, calculate what the correct exercise prescription would be to get you to your goals. So one of the benefits, personal trainer equals a guaranteed time efficient, safe progression towards your goals. The other thing is, which almost relates to it, is you'll be doing exactly what you should be doing, and you'll be doing it correctly. Now what this means is, when I say you'll be doing exactly what you should be doing and you'll be doing it correctly, it means that the energy and time, which are valuable resources for all of us, that you put into this is going to be directly reflected in what you take away from it. And that's, you know, that's basically it. Most people who go to the gym who don't use trainers, you know, they put the time in, they put the energy in, but they're not taking away the reward. You know, let's say you put 100% energy in. If you're missing out on any of the 4 golden rules of resistance training, for example, which there's an article, a video and article on the website, a video on the YouTube channel, an article on the Body121Fitness website. If you're cutting corners, which is so typical of men, to try and go higher up the weight range, thinking they're going to get a faster progression, you won't. Your results will be severely impacted if you're not getting the basics right. And you might think, well, that's pretty obvious. Well, if it's so obvious, I've trained at around 100 gyms around the world and in this country, and I would say between conservatively 50% of people I see training are wasting their effort in some way, cutting corners, and I would say that's conservatively probably up to 70%. It's rare to see people training properly. And what that equates to is the effort you put in, you're not getting it's not being reciprocated in terms of your result. But if you do things correctly, then the effort you put in, energy and time you put in, will be proportionally represented in your results, and that's something that a personal trainer will bring you. Another reason to use a trainer is you automatically or subconsciously enter into an automatic unwritten agreement that you're going to do your best. You know, we don't sit down and basically say, you know, you're going to do your best. Do you agree to do your best? And you sit there and go, yeah, I'm going to do my best. You know, that doesn't really happen. It's implied, and the reason it's sort of subconscious is when you get the sense that someone's there to work with you, yeah, who obviously is qualified and is spending a lot of time and energy and is genuinely interested, you know, in your development, your betterment, you know, then most people react very positively to that. And what I mean by that is they really try their best. Way more so than if you were to go to the gym on your own, do your routine, whatever it is, however effective or ineffective it may be. You know, you go there and you're a bit tired, or you're in a bad mood, or you know, whatever. Your performance, it's just, you know, you can't be bothered, whatever, for whatever reason. Don't quite feel like it, can't be bothered to go to the gym, something good's on telly, you know, whatever. That's typical, that's what happens. When you're actually working with a trainer, you basically have an unwritten agreement that you're going to do your best. So you come in, and if you've got the right trainer, one of the things that you should feel is you should like that person. You know, you don't hate your trainer. You should enjoy spending time with your trainer. They should motivate you, make you feel valued, and you should enjoy your sessions overall. You know, if you look forward, you see, the real success is if you can make it so that your client looks forward to coming to working with you. Yeah, and that's including the effort. You know, you can imagine what it's like if you've got to go and do some personal training session and you don't particularly get on with that person, you know, as a client. Not only have you got to put the effort in, but you're just not inspired, or you know, you just can't, whatever it is, it's not working for you. That shouldn't be the case. You should be basically, you should look forward to training with you. That's what I promote or would teach to other PTs. That's your goal. You know, get the results and make sure that that your client feels valued, and that basically that they enjoy their time with you, because that makes it more likely they're going to reach the finish line. And it's fairly basic, you know, but nevertheless, so there's subconsciously an unwritten agreement where you're going to do your best for your trainer. Hopefully, I've sort of tried to make that clear. So the next thing is when you're exercising and your knowledge is wherever it's at, you've probably got a preconceived idea of what you're capable of. Now, bear in mind, as I'm going over these points, some of them may not apply to you. You know, we're all different. We're all at different stages. We've all got different barriers, to reaching our goals and different needs. So basically, you know, some of these points may be more applicable to you, some less. So this is generally speaking. But you know, many people have a preconceived idea of what they're capable of, and that's it. And that's because they haven't tested that boundary. And what can happen is you just don't choose. You choose not to. Not for any other reason other than, you know, you think you just assume that this is what you can do, whereas in fact you can do a lot more. And I don't mean torturous, you know, I don't mean really uncomfortable, you know, torturous exercises. I just mean things that you just probably haven't done, wouldn't know to do, and you think, you know, this is your capacity, whereas in fact you can develop above and beyond that with the correct guidance. So if you use a trainer, you can reach new levels which you potentially were not aware that you could achieve, and that's a great you know, thing to achieve, but also a great situation to be in. Another important aspect of working with a trainer is people tend to do, they basically do imbalanced workouts, meaning that they instead of working the body in a balanced fashion, you know, universally, they basically do certain, they work their favourite parts, and typically it's what you can see in the mirror, particularly for men, and basically the problem with this is that, you know, functionally, if you've got a really weak core, weak legs, but you've got, you know, big chest and biceps, functionally that's not gonna put you in good stead. I mean, ease of movement, strength of movement, you know, a universal capability, that's your goal. You know, that will grant you the best quality of life. The other thing is that if you want to look good, if aesthetics is your goal, you know, that's, I just want to look good. You know, young people seem to be very focused on looking good. I think older people a little bit less concerned about how other people see them. You know, don't really care so much. But you know, they tend to sort of universal functional capability becomes more relative. But either way, it's both created. Aesthetics are balanced return. Aesthetics are a balanced development. Yeah, it's not size alone that looks good. It's, in fact, you know, it's not size alone that looks good. What looks good, you don't have to be big at all. It's a balanced development, symmetry. And likewise, it's a balanced development across the body, which allows you the most universal capability. You know, having really powerful biceps and weak legs, you know, it's, when you start training in a balanced fashion, you will really notice the positive benefits. So it's way more important, you know, to sort of, well, I want to look good, so I basically want to get my muscles to look for a man, or as big as I can. You know, that's not the way to look at it. It's better to have a small change in proportion everywhere, and that is what looks aesthetically the most pleasing, but also grants you the most uniform capabilities. So working with the trainer means you get balanced input, i.e. training stimulus, and that equates to a balanced output, results. It's the other thing about having a balanced output, you know, a balanced development across the body, is it's very healthy. When you tend to work your favourite muscle groups, so men all around the front of the body, you get strength imbalances across the joints, particularly the shoulders, really common, because the front of the shoulder ends up being quite strong, but the back of the shoulder and the middle are weak. As such, the as I mentioned in another video, the humerus, the bone here, the head of the humerus sits in a shallow cavity, and it's basically held in place mostly by muscle. So if it's an imbalance because it's very strong here and weak at the back, that's when you're going to get injuries. Particularly if you've got bad technique and you're doing weights that are heavy, and say one day you're very tired or you haven't warmed up properly. It's important that you get the universal development to be as healthy, as you can possibly be. No injuries. So working with the trainer, you'll get balanced input. And that then equates to a balanced output results, and that is what looks the best and gives you the best quality of life in terms of universal physical function. Another reason to use a personal trainer is commitment issues. So that's a strong way to put it. If you pay for a session, if you pay, you basically decide you want to achieve your goals, you're paying for the services of a personal trainer, you've got a financial incentive to turn up. So if those days, where you hadn't paid for a personal trainer, it's not as important that you go to the gym, and you're more likely, or to wherever you're training, whatever venue, and you'll basically be more prone to missing days. And that obviously will significantly affect your, the output, the results. So by actually paying for your session, you've got a financial incentive to turn up. It becomes a bit more expensive to sit at home and watch TV. You've got a financial incentive to stay the course. And that's actually quite a big deal. Trainers aren't cheap. That's true. Online training, incidentally, is a very effective way to utilise the services of a personal trainer, which is a lot cheaper, which is good because it sort of opens the market up to people who just would not, no matter how they prioritised, be able to afford to train one-on-one with a trainer. Online training is the next best thing. Paying for the session, paying for the trainer is a lot of money, and you really don't want to throw that away. Money doesn't grow on trees, and it does make a difference in terms of making sure that you're going to attend and stick to your schedule. So another reason to use a trainer is, again, it sort of relates to, so there's a financial incentive to turn up, but then there's also a, like, how would you describe it? It relates to basically your perception that your trainer has got your interests at heart, and he's really behind you, or she's really behind you, and really encouraging you, and doing everything within their power to enable you to reach your goals. Support you in any way which they can. And as a result, if someone's and particularly if you get on very well, that's actually one of the things I sort of judge trainers by how engaged they are with their clients. If I see a trainer training a client and he's looking the other way, or she's looking the other way, or just leaves them on the, you get on the, you get on the exercise bike, I'll be back in 10 minutes. That's terrible. And likewise, you see a trainer looking bored and their clients, killing themselves, that's terrible. Basically, the good trainers, you can tell, they're the ones who are really engaging with the client, really focused on what's going on. And if you've got someone who, you can tell, cares about you and is interested in getting you where you want to go, it's hard to stay at home and let them down, because it's almost like you're in partnership and you're letting your partner down. again, just comparatively, you know, if you weren't in partnership and you basically, you know, just had yourself, you're not so worried about sitting at home and in a way, strong way to say it, but letting yourself down by not going to you know, i.e. letting yourself down in terms of not meeting your goals, by sort of, you know, you not going to the to do your exercise that day or whatever. But you know, when you've got effectively, you know, like a partner, someone who's there, who's basically totally focused, genuinely on enabling you to achieve something which is important to you, then it's harder to not go. You know, it's just a natural thing. So what I'm trying to sort of emphasise is, if you use a PT, you're more likely to actually stay the course and reach the finish line. And what's important about that, as someone who's new to exercise, is that you know, once you do that, that's hugely, you know, in a good way, addictive. It's very confidence inspiring. It's very empowering, massively motivating, and you know, in comparison, let's say you're new to exercise, you don't use a trainer, and you work hard, you don't really get anywhere. You know, you adopting exercise as a lifestyle choice, which is really what this should all be about. That's how you really maximise the quality, you know, the return, the quality of your life. You know, bear in mind that as your health and fitness start to slip away, it's very gradual. Most people just don't notice it until something pops up, and then they're suddenly aware. You know, they've got to get married in 3-6 months, and where the photos are going to be forever. Or they just recognise they're getting really puffed out here and there, you know, and they feel that it's starting to inhibit their lives, or suddenly they've got some high blood pressure, or, you know, whatever it may be. As your health and fitness slides away, the quality of your life drops. Although you don't, you know, a lot of people don't recognise that or sort of identify that, and that affects people around you as well. You know, when you're fit, get fitter, live better. When you're fit, you have a lot of energy for life. You know, there's two components to age: chronological and biological. Biological age you can reverse. You can slow it down, and you can reverse biological age. That's your physical state, capacity, energy, the lot. Chronologically, obviously you can't stop the clock. But you know what's important is, and having lived in different countries, you know, I can tell you for a fact, living in America, people are much more active in their later years, much more. In the UK, we're quite ageist, actually, and really, age is almost just a number. I mean, chronologically, absolutely, but biologically, if you stay fit, you can enjoy your life, you know, to up to the maximum, indefinitely. You know, in comparison, particularly to the way a lot of older people sort of assume that their life is over. You know, if you get to 60 and that's it. You know, you're not supposed to be doing anything. So you just got to sit there and watch TV. That's it. Have a cup of tea. I mean, you know, when I'm 60, I hope to be, I don't know what I'll be doing. Whatever, you know, I'll be surfing or climbing or, you know, something like that. Why not? They do that in the States all day long. It's all about just maintaining your health and fitness. And obviously, the more healthy and fit you are, the more that trickles down into all the people you care about, you know, around you. You need the energy for life, and that's what your health and fitness grants you. So there you go. So moving on. As in terms of the benefit of exercise, I've sort of already spoken about it in a way. But one initial, if you're new to exercise, one of the barriers that I hear regularly is people say, I'm so tired, I haven't got the energy to do any exercise. I'm so tired after work, I just can't do it. Well, the thing is, that's the tiredness is generally due to your body allowing you, a certain level of fitness that's aimed at just what you use. And if your life has been consistently sedentary, where you're sitting around and not doing too much, then and you're not particularly active, then that's what your fitness will support: muscular fitness and cardiovascular fitness. So basically, as soon as you start to exercise, which you don't feel you've got the energy for, if you can get through those first few weeks, you will have a significant increase, because what you're doing is you're acclimatizing your body, muscular and cardiovascular fitness, in short bursts, short durations, regularly. Your body will positively adapt, and you'll then have a higher capacity, and what that equates to in real terms means that your everyday activities, which you may be like getting out of bed in the morning or having the energy, you feel sort of tired all the time. If you're cardiovascularly really unfit, it makes you just don't have any energy. If you're fit and strong, you really notice the difference. Fit people jump out of bed in the morning. Typically, generally speaking. Very unfit people. And similarly, if you're fit and healthy, if you do burn the candle at both ends, occasionally, or you don't have much sleep one particular day, or you do get ill one day, your recovery or your ability to sort of ride that through is just absolutely, exponentially greater than if you're unfit. If something, God forbid, was to happen to you, you get ill or you have an accident, if you're already fit before you go into hospital, which is probably not a great sort of analogy, but if you're already fit before you go into hospital, you've got, you're in a great position, to get through that. Probably not the way that I would like to sell the idea, but that's the truth of it. So get fitter, live better, and it really affects so many different areas of your life. So one of the initial differences you'll notice, particularly, you'll hear people say, "Oh, I'm so unfit. I'm just so unfit," But the benefit of being so unfit is you'll really notice the positive changes quickly. It's much, much harder for a professional athlete to shave off 2 seconds on their 400-meter run. They might have to work a year for that. If you're really unfit, you're lucky, because you literally are gonna, you won't be able to do very much at all to begin with, but whatever you do will have such dramatic changes, and you'll really notice the difference in your life. So, one initial difference you'll notice is more energy throughout the day and evening. So instead of getting home from work and plotting down, making something to eat, sitting on the couch, that's all you feel capable of. And even maybe at the weekends, you feel so tired from working during the week that you just got to, you're not going to do much. You just got to recover. That's your life ticking by. Where's your life in that? You're just working and then trying to recover from working. If you take control of your fitness, you can, you'll get your life back. Or, let's say, instead of saying get your life back, as if you've lost it, but you will basically be able to make more of your life. As I say on my website in a few different places, it's not how many years you've lived, it's how much you've lived in those years. If you get to 80 and you basically didn't do anything because you were too knackered, that's not going to be ideal. If you get to, you understand what I'm saying. So there you go. So another reason to use a trainer is basically, just to put it in different words. If your fitness equates to a better quality of life, if you're 30 and you cannot sprint down the road, then biologically speaking, you're the equivalent of, you know, and again, this is stereotypical, and I'm not trying to be ageist, but if you're 30 and you can't run down the road, then you are sort of the equivalent biological age of someone a lot older. Conversely, if you're 60 and you can run down the road, you know, imagine that. Totally feasible. If you're 60 and you can run down the road, then you know, you have the biological age of someone a lot younger. You know, and obviously that will directly impact and reflect upon the quality of life that you will be able to maintain should you choose to do so. Okay, so I sort of, you know, touched upon working with a trainer is expensive. It is expensive. You know, it's all relative, but it's it's a unique experience because basically you're never going to get. It's like having a personal someone whose job it is to personally take the time to look in detail at the way you're living objectively. You know, without having any, you know, biased opinion, and to give you a you know, an honest and you know, frank interpretation of where you're at, in good ways, and in ways maybe where you might need to make some changes. You know, but things that you may not be aware of, and then, you know, very, very common. You know, sometimes you don't realise that there's a better way to do things. Sometimes because personal trainers deal with people, you know, who quite often have, although everyone's different, everyone's barriers are different, everyone's needs are different, and everyone's goals are different. Some elements are very similar. So you know, it's the personal trainer's job to help you figure out solutions. And, you know, for example, time management. People say, oh, I don't know, I couldn't really reach my goals because I haven't got the time to to do the exercise. Well, that's a common barrier. That's very common in this day and age. So as such, you know, we know how to help you get around that. You know, suggestions for you that may work. You may be able to work into your life, and that's the whole point of it. So you know, it's a fairly sort of unique experience, but it is quite a high cost. You know, 6 weeks with a trainer will probably could cost you sort of £500 or so. You know, but the thing that makes it totally worthwhile, that's if you train one-on-one with them. The thing that makes it totally worthwhile is if you look at it as an investment. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, where basically, you know, you will learn so much about, you know, the way you should live, you know, in terms of what will be really good for you, if you choose to, you know, the way to sort of be as healthy as possible, the way to exercise effectively. You know, you'll learn techniques that you wouldn't have been aware of. You'll learn about how to change a training stimulus to make sure that you get continued progression. You'll learn various advanced training methods. You know, you really will be setting yourself up in terms of knowledge for the rest of your life. And if you think, you know, those 6 or 9 weeks, you know, if you don't choose to carry on with the trainer, but if you can afford it, the experience is such a positive one that most people do continue. You know, it's like was it a luxury? I suppose they sort of see it that way. But it's something that they will, you know, fight to continue to do because they get so much out of it. It's such a release. You know, to go and train and have someone tell you what to do. All you need to do is follow instructions. You don't need to think. You just need to focus, do your best, and that's it. It's very de-stressing. It's almost meditational. You know, you can't focus on anything else because you're having to focus on the challenge in front of you, and that challenge is being managed by someone else to make it achievable for you, but you don't have to do any thinking. You basically just go there and do your best. It's really it's a very healthy thing to do mentally. And then you've got all the benefits. You've got the endorphins flying around after the brain will release chemical endorphins, which are the body's natural feeling of well-being drug, and it's very strong. You feel great after training, and on top of that, you'll have a decent, steady energy, but also you'll have burnt off your nervous energy. If you've trained hard enough, and you'll find that you sleep a lot better. There are so many positive aspects to regular adopting exercise as a lifestyle choice. So a 6 to 9 week, if you look at it as rather, well, I can't see myself paying, whatever it is, 350, 400 pounds a month indefinitely, then don't look at it that way. Look at it as, okay, well, look, I'll employ a trainer for 2 months on the basis that, I'll achieve these goals that I want to, if they are achievable. Obviously, if you're someone who's is carrying a lot of weight and you want to lose a lot, or you need to lose a lot, then obviously you're not going to probably reach the finishing line in 2 months. But what you can do is set achievable goals, short, mid-term, long-term goals, and that's the motivating thing. You need to be hitting those, and basically the knowledge that you will gain in the first 6 to 9 weeks, even if you have to stop, which obviously you would sort of fight not to do, and the trainer would obviously encourage you not to. But if you have to, which is totally understandable because things happen, you'll be set up to carry on, and you'll actually have a good chance of making it as long as you were attentive and you were able to absorb the information. It's never the same training on your own, because you miss so many aspects of all the things I've just been talking about. Attendance, effort when you get there, talking in the gym to your mates or sitting on the phone for a few minutes, you're ruining your session. So look at it as an investment. Look at it as a financial investment, one-time deal, and you'll be setting yourself up for the rest of your life. And if you're lucky and you live till your 80s, that investment, in terms of what it actually equates to, the good it will do you for all the following years, it's nothing, absolutely zero. So you can, if you look at it that way, that's a good way to look at it. Obviously, for some people, as I mentioned, it's a long journey. There is a lot to do, and that's fine, absolutely fine. And this is just, as I say, a reason why it's a good idea to use a trainer, and what might be a benefit of using a trainer. To have someone there, basically, who it can make the all-important difference, the support, the motivation, and then obviously you're doing everything that you should be doing, you're doing everything absolutely correctly. That means you're going to get there in the most time-efficient manner. But having that support and that encouragement, motivation, someone who believes in you, that's huge for some people, particularly if they've got quite a long road ahead of them. But you can achieve amazing results. I had a client who was 21 years old, and he was 22 stone. He was quite a big guy, and he was a lovely person. I won't say what his name was. And basically, he was one of the most disciplined and rewarding people that I work with, and I work with lots of rewarding people. It's a great business to be in. It's amazing business to be in for that reason. the difference you can make to people's lives. But he lost 6 stone in 6 months, and that's with you know, diet management and healthy eating and training 3 times a week. His family got behind him, and you know, that was like a you know, I mean, obviously he had a little bit more to go, but the difference it made in his life, you know, his whole physique, his confidence levels, and he wasn't particularly actually unconfident when I met him. He was a really lovely guy, but he, you know, nevertheless, he just became more of himself, if you like, and what he could potentially be, and you know, it was quite a long journey, you know, and unfortunately, from my perspective, I had to stop training him because I had a traffic accident, and I was suddenly found myself in hospital for 4 months and then in a wheelchair for up to a year. So, which is why, see, I've lost my fingers, and my right arm, my left arm, it's down the left hand side of my body. My left arm doesn't straighten, and quite severe trauma to my leg. But I've recovered to, you know, the best I can be within my permanent limitations, and that's good for me. You know, it's the best place you can be. That aspect of my life is, you know, as good as it can be, and that puts me in good stead to face all the other challenges. So having a long journey ahead of you and having someone there to support you and guide you through it, you know, can really make a difference and really, you know, contribute to you actually making that and finishing it. The final thing is, because obviously we've been going on for some time, the final thing is, what you'll find is people, it varies, but people come to train, exercise, wherever it is, and you'll find that they're quite timid to begin with. Probably because if they're new to it, they don't have any idea what they can do, so they don't have any confidence in their abilities. But what happens is, actually very quickly, which is good, or at their own speed, but generally it's quickly. You know, they develop, it's very confidence inspiring. They test themselves out. You've got someone who's guiding you, make sure everything's safe, but making sure things are enough of a challenge, but achievable. And very quickly you start to step outside your comfort zone slightly, and you start to learn more about yourself in terms of, you know, your discipline, your tenacity, how hard you work, how hard you can focus. It's very confidence inspiring, and um, people I've trained have come back to me and said, which is very nice. You know, my confidence, and I've obviously witnessed it firsthand as I'm training them in the gym. You know, they come in reasonably timid or just not, you know, overwhelmingly sort of confident, and within you know, 6 weeks they're literally, you know, throwing themselves at these challenges and love every second of it. And basically, what you find in life is, and it varies for all of us, but it's not all the time, and sometimes not at all, or it may have been a while. You know, setting a goal, a new goal, struggling, you know, to achieve it and succeeding is a very motivating, very empowering thing to do. And it's quite unusual, again, particularly as you get older. You know, people get stuck in routines. Life gets pretty samey. You know, so to suddenly step out, work hard, slightly outside your comfort zone, set yourself for something, an ambition, and actually get there, achieve that, it's very, very confidence inspiring. And what I've been told is, and what makes sense also, is it basically translates to other areas of your life. I have people come back and say to me, you know, I've noticed that I'm much more confident in my work environment or socially, and it's down to my, you know, my new um, uh, confidence in my physical abilities. You know, so it's another reason to use a trainer and exercise to reach your goals. Set a goal, struggle to meet that goal and successfully achieve it. It's very, very empowering. And you know, if you can do it there, and believe me, it's hard work. You know, it's not easy. It's not set a goal. Oh, all right, yeah, that's done. That was easy. You know, what's the expression? I can't remember actually, but it's something like, you know, if it wasn't what makes I can't think of the expression. It's basically along the lines of, you know, you need to work hard. Things that are worth getting, you have to work hard for. That's the best I can remember it, but I'm sure that you'll be aware of it. Things, you know, things that are worth achieving, basically, you find that you've got to put the effort in to do it. And, you know, doing that in the gym and setting a personal goal, something that's really important to you, and then getting there with the effort, you know, you'll look at that, that'll translate into other areas of your life typically. And, you know, you know, maybe life's not over for people who happen to be over 35 or 40. You know, maybe you know, there are new challenges out there which you think, well, maybe I'm going to do that now. You know, it's very empowering. So that's pretty much the sort of you know, the whys and wherefores of using a personal trainer. It's not. This isn't a video relating to me. Massive sales pitch. So please use Body121Fitness personal training services. It's not like that at all. This advice I would, there's another article. Why should I exercise? What's in it for me? Basically, a video and article. Basically, you know, I passionately believe in exercise as a lifestyle choice. I've done it since I was 16. And I would never change. The benefits it has brought me through my life, through my corporate career, you know, even down to my traffic accident. I went into hospital as fit as you like, and I'm not. I know chronologically, I'm not young. I'm more 45 now. You know, and it was lucky that I was that fit when I went into, unexpectedly had that and went into hospital, because I probably managed to keep things I may have lost. You know, and obviously, if you should have seen me when I came out of hospital after 4 months. If I'd have gone in unfit and then come out full, who knows what, you know, what I would have lost and where I would be. So, you know, and that's obviously not, fitness was a lifestyle choice for me since I mean, my corporate career, I've always been good at my job, but and the better I got, which was quite quickly when I was young, I then negotiated the ability to make sure that I was able to exercise through the week, no matter what company I worked for. And I did that because I found that the increase in productivity, energy, focus, you know, in terms of my co-workers, I was tenfold an increase of tenfold. You know, just huge increase. And as I said in another video, you know, if I was able to, and I would force my you know, employees to go to the gym. You know, I'd actually make it mandatory, which is completely wrong, I know. But I'm just so aware of the benefits of it, and how and the benefits to your business. You know, that energy that I'm talking about after you've trained, and that feeling of well-being, that's what you need to approach problems that you know, otherwise don't really fancy. You know, you go and have a workout, it's a fresh day. You come from the gym at lunchtime in your corporate environment, your work environment, go back to work, you know, you're like, woo, let's go. You know, what's that thing that I didn't really fancy doing? Let's get it done. You know, it's going to get done. It's incredibly productive in the work environment. You know, well-being at work. It's huge. So you know, I'm selling the ideas of using a trainer and selling the concept of exercise, because I absolutely wholeheartedly, to every molecule in my body, believe in it, because I've benefited from it, and I'm one of many. And what you'd have to ask yourself is, you know, in the early days, people were sort of labelled as fitness freaks quite easily, and basically the reason for that was it's about the few and the many. And, you know, because the few had some knowledge, and what you'd have to take into consideration is people who have chosen exercise as a lifestyle choice have done that for a reason. You cannot stop them exercising. And it's not because they're exercise freaks, it's because of the benefit that they are so, you know, absolutely first-hand experienced across the period that they've been doing it. Why would they suddenly go, I'm going to throw that away? It's made such a positive difference to my life in so many, you know, subtle and not so subtle areas, trickle through effect, everyone around me as well. You know, why would I suddenly throw that away? They wouldn't. And the reason people have historically been labelled as fitness freaks is because, you know, it's easy for the people who can't be asked, you know, or who basically don't attach any value to exercise because they've never actually done it for long enough or done it properly to actually acknowledge and get the cumulative benefits. It's easy for people to go, oh, they're just fitness freaks, you know. It's not the case. I guarantee you, if you start to exercise, if you don't exercise already, and you set yourself some goals, and you meet those goals, you struggle, and then you actually get there, you know, that the duration, the time that will take will be long enough for you to get the trickle-through benefits, the generic benefits, you know, that work in so many different ways. And if part of that prescription involves you working with a PT, where you've got someone who's personally invested in you, you know, it's a powerful concoction. And even without the PT, if you manage to do your own research, if you really can't afford a PT or online training, then do your own research, do the best you can. You know, if you can put some time into it, a little bit of diligence, you know, you will get somewhere, because anything's better than nothing. The problem is that people then just continue doing the same thing. That's one of the most common mistakes out there, and then you just get nothing. You need to keep changing the training stimulus. But you may even reach your goals, and you may even do it long enough where you get enough out of it, even though you're not smashing your goals. You may still get you will get the generic effects that I've described, better energy, blah 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 blah. You know, enough that you might even continue, you know, as an exerciser for life, which you certainly will do. I would guarantee that if you start hitting your goals, then the whole thing becomes, you know, massively empowering. Why would you suddenly go, no, I don't want to do that anymore? So there you go. That's the end of the video on the long video, which is an hour, on why you should use a personal trainer. As I say, it's hand on heart, given freely. That's one of my philosophies in life. Give freely. You know, that's what I find is a great way to live. So basically, this is given freely. There's no sales pitch attached to it. If you're new to exercise, then I implore you to find to recategorize your priorities, and, you know, manage your finances so you can at least use a trainer for a short period, at worst. You know, where you at least hopefully be doing the right thing. Well, you will be doing the right thing, but achieve your initial goals, so you're doing exercise for long enough where you get how it should work for you, all the benefits of it, and then you will probably be exercising for life from that point with a huge amount of knowledge that you've just gained. That's worst case scenario. Best case scenario is you manage to maintain, you know, you get absolutely overwhelmed by the benefits of having someone who's totally invested in you, and you smashing into your goals, and the whole trickle-through effect of regular adopting exercise as a lifestyle choice, and you know, you then are able to maintain that relationship for as long as possible, and hopefully you grow old together, and your PT, you'll either be going to her funeral or she'll be coming to yours, which hopefully will be at a ridiculously old age because of all the long-term benefits, which I haven't even gone into. So that's the end of the video. I hope that was useful. Please go to the website, Body121Fitness.com website, for other articles, and or look at the other videos on the YouTube channel. All the videos are aimed at either encouraging you to exercise, if you already exercise, how to get the most from your training. It's basics, a lot of it. You know, you need to start there, and they are missed across the board. So common, but if you don't miss them, then you're going to take away what you put in. So get the most out of your training. So the articles are designed to basically enable you to do that. So thanks for watching the video. This is Jason, Body121 Fitness. I'll see you again.